Yes, welcome to the Jamaica Young Police channel. To our loyal viewers, subscribers and Patreon member. At the channel, we are a group of law-abiding citizens who believe in the rule of law and respect the rights of every citizen, but not the ones who do not subscribe to such behavior. We do believe in and support preemptive strikes because they save lives. This is a logical conclusion because preemptive strikes save lives and prevent the further loss of lives. We are all about saving lives at this channel. We at the channel aid criminals with a passion and do not want them over here. We do not want your views, your subscriptions, your likes or your comments. Please go elsewhere where the red carpet is waiting for you. Over here, we want you to go to prison or the departure lounge at Madden. Moving on to today's video. Yo, if you are tired of seeing criminals get away with murder, tired of hearing excuses for the wicked, then it's time to take action. Hit that subscription button now and stay in the loop with the Jamaica Young Police channel. We are not here to sugarcoat. We are here to expose the truth, bring justice, and make sure the real heroes get the recognition they deserve. Don't wait for the change. Be the change. Subscribe, like, and let's make some noise and hold those criminals accountable. Justice in action. Speak up. Crime must fall. And remember that we have go inside the description box and you'll see various links to various things for the Jamaica Young Police channel. JamaicaYoungPoliceChannel.com, where you see articles and stuff like that. Those who like to read, and we continue to give you guys exceptional material over here. So, moving on. Yes, I'm going to let you watch a video. To every, and this is urgent message to all Jamaicans living in the US with a green card. Your freedom to return to America after travel is at risk. Every Jamaican nationality currently living in the United States with a green card, especially those who have ever been arrested or charged, even if you were never convicted, this is not just a warning, it's a wake-up call, and you cannot afford to ignore. Yes, so I'm going to let you watch a video of a man, yes, who have been living here for close to 30 years, but he had a few run-ins with the law, was never convicted, and you're going to hear it for yourself. And he left the country since Donald Trump became president, and on his return, well, you know what? They're trying to deport him. So we're going to let you watch this video. So before you even think about leaving the United States in April 2025, or anytime after, you must watch this video and hear this story. Because if you step onto a plane without knowing your full immigration risk, you could be denied re-entry into the United States permanently. Especially if you're black or you're an immigrant. In America, and the reason why the people that are the most educated people in America, with PhDs, because most black people are reading, and even things that's educational and edifying, them don't normally gravitate to that. It's all about gossips and things about other people's lives. But the most educated people in America are people who are from Africa with PhDs, especially Nigeria. Most of the modern invention and computer and all of these things and the enhancement of these things have been done by African people, not white people. Yes, it's black people did it. You understand? And I have done a few videos for Black History Month to educate black people that our lives didn't start with slavery. Our ancestors were the mother and father of civilization and of all human beings on earth. Because black people are dominant. Dominant means that you are on the top of the apex and everything is below. But they want to put themselves up there. So they use brutality, terrorism, and all kind of things. So we want you to know that if you don't know your full immigration risk, you could be denying re-entry into the United States permanently. And no, it doesn't matter if you have lived in America for decades. It doesn't matter if your charges were dismissed. It doesn't matter if you are married to a United States citizen. It doesn't even matter if you are a father of a 3-month-old American baby. Let me show you the proof. Just ask ZELLE man Nayang, a respected youth soccer coach from Aurora, Colorado, who found out the hard way. The real story: green card holder detained and nearly deported. ZELLE man Nang, a man who was living in the United States for 25 years, was returning home from visiting family in Gambia for the first time in 2 decades. But when he landed at Chicago O'Hare International Airport, he was detained by Customs Border Protection, not because of current crime, but because the system flagged him. Flagger dismissed 2009 marijuana possession charge and an old 2003 felony trespassing plea. Yes, you read it correctly. Charges from over a decade ago, one which was dismissed, were enough to trigger detention and nearly derail his life. His wife, Jennifer James, an American citizen, was stunned. She expected her husband to breeze through immigration. Instead, he was interrogated, detained overnight, released only after public pressure and legal help. I thought he was going straight through. He had a 2-hour layover. We didn't think there was going to be any problem, she said. But there was a problem, a huge one. This could be you. Don't think you are safe just because you were never convicted. You have renewed your green card since your arrest. Your case was dismissed. You have been here for decades. You are married to an American citizen. You have US-born children. And current immigration enforcement policies. All it takes is a flag record to trigger detention or permanent ban from re-entering the country. So other red flags: social media, free speech. And it's not just about past arrests anymore. The Trump era policies still lingers. Green card holders and visa holders have been flagged for so-called anti-American speech and social media. That's right, a Facebook post, TikTok video, a tweet criticizing US foreign policy or politics could be used to build a case against you. For what? Madness. What should you do right now? Speak with an immigration attorney before traveling if you have ever been arrested and charged or convicted, even if the case is closed or dismissed. Request certified court disposition for any old charges and carry them with you. Avoid international travel unless you are 100% clear. Review your social media data. Delete or privatize anything that could be twisted out of context. Don't rely on past experiences. Immigration law have changed and enforcement more aggressive now. So don't make the mistake of thinking this can't happen to me because it happened to Coach Saul, a beloved youth mentor, family man, and 25-year resident of the US. It can happen to you. The airport is no longer just a gateway. For some, it has become a trapdoor to exile. So to every Jamaican with a green card, do not board a flight until you have done due diligence. Otherwise, you may never set foot on the US soil again. The US isn't playing, neither should you. So, as I stated before, and I'm gonna let you watch the video of this man's case, and you're going to listen to what the wife and others are saying. So you watch, you listen, and you decide. So that's why I tell you now, before you leave America, make sure that you do the necessary before you leave.
Colorado from overseas has been detained by federal agents on a layover in Chicago. 24 hours later, his family isn't certain where he is or if he's coming home. As the Trump administration cracks down on immigrants, even those with legal permission to live in the U.S., immigration agents say this situation should serve as a warning.
A shock. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going to go straight through. He had a 2-hour layover. We didn't think that there was going to be any problem.
Jennifer James got a call yesterday that her husband, Suleiman Young, had been detained at O'Hare. Young, a lawful permanent resident of the United States, had been visiting his family in the Gambia for the first time in 2 decades. He lives in Aurora with his wife and 3-month-old son, works as a youth soccer coach. James says a customs officer told her that the system flagged her husband's 2009 misdemeanor marijuana possession charge, which was dismissed. We should note, Young also pled guilty to felony trespass in 2003. But his wife says since then, his green card had been renewed. He wasn't told to leave in the 15, 20 years since those court cases, so Young, his family, and his friends thought he was okay to stay and to travel.
Being that he's been in the country for 25 years, we didn't think that there was a problem. I mean, I couldn't believe it. I kept on asking questions. This doesn't make sense. Make it make sense. What do you mean 2009? He hasn't done anything. Everything's been dismissed. To explain to me why. They won't give an answer. They won't explain. They give 2 different answers. You talk to 2 different people, they give 2 different answers.
I was worried that he was gonna maybe encounter some issues, but I thought, oh, these are people that have been, speaking out about Palestinian, all kinds of things, and I was like, Coach Shell's just a youth soccer coach. He'll be fine.
Young's wife says an ICE agent told her that he is still being detained at O'Hare as of this afternoon. We're waiting to hear back ourselves from Customs and Border Protection. We spoke with immigration attorney Matt Shaftel, who says non-citizens, even permanent residents with any kind of criminal history, need to check with an immigration attorney before they travel internationally, whether or not those charges ever resulted in a conviction.
A green card holder, and this happens sometimes, they're perfectly fine staying in the U.S. They may be eligible to become a citizen, presuming no recent criminal history. But if they leave, they can be kept out because certain crimes can keep a lawful permanent resident from being able to re-enter the country if they travel. If there is any possible hook, any type of conduct in his past history you're concerned about, you need to get that evaluated because of the aggressiveness of this administration. Of course, any type of criminal conduct, even if it was just an arrest.
Shaftel also recommends that non-citizens carry certified copies of important documents with them, especially at places like the airport. And he says he has also been advising his clients to go through their social media activity as the Trump administration looks through non-citizen speech as a reason to throw them out of the country.
Yeah, so, this is the channel that we have been telling you about. United we win, divided we lose. A call to action for all decent, ethical, and truth-seeking people. Brothers and sisters, let's speak some truth. Division has always been the weapon of the wicked. The ultimate tragedy used by corrupt governments, dishonest leaders, and power-hungry manipulators. They divide to conquer. They pit communities against each other. They turn neighbors against neighbor, tribe against tribe, race against race, because they know the terrifying power we hold when we are united under true justice and purpose. That's why united we win, divided we lose. It's not just a slogan, it's a movement, a philosophy, a rallying cry for every decent, ethical, and truth-loving soul on this planet. We are all calling on you to be a part of something greater. This is not just another YouTube channel. This is an international platform that transcends borders, cultures, and languages. It reaches across ocean and finds its way into the hearts, homes, and minds of people like you. People who refuse to be manipulated. People who are hungry for truth. And people who stand for what is right, even when it's not popular. We believe in what is right, not who is right. That's what it's all about. So we expose what others are afraid to even whisper. So this channel reach across oceans and find its way into the hearts and minds of people like you, people who refuse to be manipulated. So we expose what others are afraid, because they themselves are afraid. We uplift voices that have been silenced. We connect the dots. Several reveal the agendas and show the patterns behind the lies that the mainstream buries. We cannot do it alone. Your subscription is more than just a click. It's a declaration that you are no longer asleep, that you refuse to be divided, that you see the power in unity, that you are choosing truth over propaganda, ethics over corruption, courage over silence. So I am personally inviting you, subscribe to United We Win, Divided We Lose channel, a home for truth seekers, the whistleblowers, the freedom fighters, and those who still believe in values and virtues and in victory through unity. Because remember, evil thrives when good people are silent and divided. But when we unite, we win, always. So join the movement, click, subscribe and select all and let your voice be counted among the courageous. Yeah, so we know Jamaicans love to think that, boy, this not apply to me, you know. But let's set the record straight. What Donald Trump and the GOP are calling anti-American speech is not just dishonest, but it's pure garbage. A steaming pile of authoritarian fear-mongering meant to silence dissent and intimidate the people into submission. But guess what? That tactics might work in some countries. Yes, in some countries where citizens live under a brutal dictatorship and fear for their lives. But this is America, and here that dog can't hunt. That dog don't hunt. No, man. The United States of America, flawed, complex, and often contradictory, is still one of the few nations on earth where free speech isn't just a constitutional right. It's a core part of national identity. The very foundation of this country was laid by rebels and revolutionaries who refused to be silenced by monarchy, tyranny, or oppression. Among them, the first man to die for this dream was a black man, Crispus. Yes, man, Crispus Attucks. So most of you never know that the first person to die for this United States of America, to make America become a republic, was a black man named Crispus Attucks, gunned down in Boston, Massachusetts in 1770. Them time the Donald Trump family, them there, Europe, a black man. His blood stained the soil before the ink of the Declaration of Independence was even dry. That's the legacy of real American courage, not the cowardice of those who weaponize patriotism to crush criticism. So when Donald Trump and his enablers in the GOP start labeling free thought as anti-America, what they're really doing is recycling the same fear tactics used by fascists, despots, and failed emperors throughout history. They are hoping that by instilling fear through government overreach, immigration threats, and vague claim of national security, they can bully people into silence. But here's the twist they didn't see coming. America is not a nation of cowards. And the most dangerous citizen in the eyes of a dictator is an informed, fearless, and organized population. Let me repeat myself. And the most dangerous citizen in the eyes of a dictator is an informed, fearless, and organized population. We know that the people that vote for Donald Trump, 90% of them cannot read and write and comprehend. These people are dumb as stones. 90%. White people. Because when a white or rich white man will tell you, say, all of your problem is because of immigrant. It's because you're a dummy. Immigrants are not the ones who are paying you. Immigrants are not the ones who have the businesses. Immigrants don't have the corporation. Immigrants are not responsible for enacting laws and make sure that the minimum wage stay at $7.25. That goes to show you how dumb these people are. Their problem is the same people who's telling them that others is the problem. They look over there and not here. In which all they have to do is just unite with everyone in the United States of America and their lives would be better. But no, racism is more important to them. And they're suffering. These are people when they open their mouth. Their mouth is like a cave, it's dark because they have no teeth. These are people who are 20 and look like 90. These are people who have to be taking drugs to escape the harsh reality of the United States of America. And most of these people live in states we call the red states. Since their policies are so good, are better for the American people, why are the red states in America are the poorest people and the most illiterate people? Make that make sense? Now they might get rid of the Department of Education. They don't have to get rid of it. Because the same white people, the 90% of them dumb as rock. And we used to go to school with them and them things, and them can't do algebra, maths, simple maths. them frustrated, them stop. So Trump and his ilk love to weaponize January 6, 2021 as a warning or a rallying cry. But what they don't realize is that the people who love truth, decency and the Constitution are watching. They are organizing, and they are not going to storm the Capitol with flags and zip ties. They will rise with strategy, with solidarity, with the spirit of Crispus Attucks, Harriet Tubman, Malcolm X, Martin Luther King Jr., Marcus Garvey, and every American who ever resisted the abuse of power in the defense of liberty. So when the dam of discontent finally breaks, when the people say enough, January 6 will look like a clown show in comparison, because no real American, black, white, Latino, Asian, indigenous will die to protect a man who tried to overthrow democracy, bully judges, bribe witnesses, and trample on the very Constitution he swore to uphold. And make no mistake, the police in Washington, D.C., the ones who stood battered and betrayed in the wake of the failed coup attempt, won't be laying down their lives for people who wave Confederate flags and beat fellow officers with American ones. They will not defend the desecration of the Constitution a second time for the sake of political theatrics and white national cosplay. Freedom of speech isn't anti-American. Treason is. Gaslighting the public is. And attempting to rule by fear, that's not leadership, it's terrorism. So let Donald Trump bark. Let the GOP push fear. The people are not feared, not anymore. Not when they are already being through the fire and seeing who is who. Because this isn't about left or right. This is about right or wrong. And real Americans know the difference. We know that the terrorists, they say wrong as right and say right as wrong. Because most 90% of them, they can't think. Because the highest level of education they have is 3rd grade. So, I continue the journey. So now let's talk about this man. Suleiman Nayang, a man who did everything by the book, a man who renewed his green card, a man who got married to an American citizen, a man who wasn't living off the system but contributing to it, a man who was working, mentoring children as a youth soccer coach and raising his 3-month-old son in Colorado with his wife. He followed every rule, played by the very standard, every standard, believe in the system. So, like any decent human being would, he decided to visit his family back in Gambia for the first time in over 20 years. You would think that after 2 decades of lawful presence in the United States, after building a life, family and a community here, he could travel with peace of mind. But when he returned to the land he calls home, instead of welcome back, he was met with suspicion, humiliation and detention by customs, border protection officers. And long time they have to abuse people's rights. Why? Because of a dismissed marijuana possession charge from 2009, a charge that was thrown out, done and buried. But because of a felony trespassing plea from 2003, over 2 decades ago, from a different chapter of his life, despite the fact that he had renewed his green card since then, I was never told by immigration authority that those past incidents would prevent him from traveling. He's now in limbo. This man, this father, this husband, this coach is now dangling in the cruel uncertainty of the U.S. immigration system, waiting for a faceless bureaucracy to decide whether he'll be allowed back into the country he has called home for most of his adult life, or be deported like a criminal to a country he hasn't lived for 25 years. And let's stop pretending we don't know what's really going on here. Because the brutal truth is this: if this man were white, if his name was Sean O'Reilly, or Bill O'Reilly, or Tyler Montgomery, born in Ireland or Australia, and he had the exact same record, there's no way he would have been yanked off that plane and detained like a fugitive. No way. But Suleiman Nayang is black and he's African. 2 identities that in the height of the racist underbelly of immigration system make him expendable, suspect and disposable. That's it. That's the truth, nothing else. This isn't about justice. This isn't about national security. This isn't about protecting America. This is about a system that pretends to be colorblind while routinely punishing black immigrants more harshly than anyone else. It's the same system that turned a blind eye to European overstayers but hunt down Hispanics, Latinos, Caribbean and African overstayers like animals, fast-track white asylums and criminalize black ones. Look for reasons to forgive white immigrants and reasons to deport brown and black ones. Now this man is stuck in legal purgatory. His wife is confused. His son is too young to understand why daddy didn't come home. And his community is heartbroken because they know if Solomon can be treated this way, none of them are safe. This is not just about one man. This is about how deep the cracks runs in a system that claims to stand for liberty and justice for all, but constantly fail to deliver those promises to black people. So to all green card holders, especially those from the Caribbean, Africa, you must wake up. You must understand that your color, your birthplace, and your past will be used against you. Not fairly, not justly, but strategically. Because when your name is Solomon, and your skin is rich with melanin, and your passport once bore the crest of a black nation, they won't see you as one of them, even after 2 decades of service, taxes, and loyalty. To every Jamaican living in the United States with a green card or immigration case pending, especially those who have ever been arrested and charged by the police, whether or not you were convicted, let this be a warning, a serious one, a life-altering one. Stay your behind in America. Don't play brave. Don't assume your past doesn't matter. Don't assume that because you have built a life, you'll be welcomed back with open arms. Because if you leave, even for a funeral, even for a vacation, you may never set foot on US soil again. Especially now, in this chilling era where winds of hate are rising and Trump America is once again rearing its ugly xenophobic head. Let's reel for a moment. Yes, let's talk real for a moment. Donald Trump, a man who hoped that he returned to the White House, and he did, is not interested in justice, fairness, or due process. He's interested in remaking America in his image white, wealthy, ruled by fear. And under that vision, if your skin is black, if your accent is Jamaican, and if your record even show, even a minor brush with law enforcement, you become a target. You become expendable. You become the immigrant he wants to banish. But yet, this is a man who have 24 felony conviction behind his name. Donald Trump is the first criminal president of the United States convicted. Now, here's the bitter irony. Donald Trump is the descendant of immigrants himself. His grandfather, Frederick Jump, arrived in the United States in the early 1900s, fleeing conscription and poverty from Bavaria, Germany. He came with broken English, little money, and big dreams, like many immigrants like you. And yet, this same Donald Trump now stands at the gate of America spewing hatreds towards immigrants who don't come from Europe. You see immigrants from Africa, Latin America, and the Caribbean, not as people, but as problems. He labels countries like Jamaica as crime-infested, ignoring that some of the most dangerous criminals wear suits and sit in boardrooms or in Congress. Now, let's not forget how we infamously refer to African nations and Haiti as shithole countries while openly wishing for more immigrants from Norway. And Norway gave Donald Trump the middle finger and so we want to live in your shithole country. America is a shithole. You people don't treat your people, don't treat your citizens well. Our minimum wage is $25, equivalent to a $30 US, because the euro currency is stronger than the American dollar. We have free healthcare here. We don't have no racism here. Black people and black, white, and everyone live together as one. And people who are racist, they are known, they are exposed and shame in our country. So understand what this means for you. If you're a Jamaican with a dismissed case and misdemeanor charge, a pass arrest with no conviction, you are not safe. Not at the airport, not at the border, not in Trump's America. Even if you are married to a United States citizen, you will live in America for 10, 15, 20 years, 30 years. You have raised children here. You pay taxes and live clean. The moment you stepped out of the US, you could be locked out permanently. So let the story of Coach Solomon be your wake-up call. He was a green card holder. He had been in the US for over 25 years. He had a wife and a newborn son. He left for one short trip to Gambia to visit family. And when he came back, he was detained like a criminal. All because of a 2009 marijuana charge. Yeah, weed charge that had already been dismissed. And an old 2003 trespassing case. That's what they will use. Not murder, not guns. Old minor unresolved case. So what do you think will happen to you with your weed case? Your bar fight, your traffic stop gone wrong. You think they're going to take care of that? The case was thrown out. You think they will see the nuance? No. They will see you as a black, foreign, replaceable, deportable. This is not paranoia. This is pattern. This is precedent. And what this man, Donald Trump, returned to power, every black immigrant needs to move wisely, not blindly. Do not leave the country. Do not think your past charges won't catch up to you. Do not think because you have renewed your green card, you are safe. Because the system under Trump is not built for fairness. It's built for selective exclusion. And in a version of America, the immigrant who is dark, once arrested, and are from a non-European country, is already on the chopping blocks. So let the rest of the world take chances. But you, my fellow Jamaicans, know better. So act like it. And keep you behind one place. So have yourself a beautiful day. Jamaica Young Police Channel out.